Hi class, so we're back looking at more graphs of proportional relationships. Let's go right into some of the problems we did in class so you can review how to do these. So, the situation is in a bag of trail mix, there are 3 cups of nuts for every 1 cup of raisins. You are going to complete the table and graph to show this relationship. Be careful when you label your graph. This is the first time you've been asked to actually label your graph, so we're going to do that step by step in just a minute. But let's set up our table first. I'm noticing really quickly that my table has set up on it that we have raisins in the X position and we have nuts in the Y position. So that's important, and we'll be needing to talk about that in just a minute. So for now, I'm going to say, let's read our problem again. There are 3 cups of nuts. So I'm going to highlight 3 cups of nuts for every 1 cup of raisins. So now I need to be very careful and deliberate when I put these into the table. I notice that the nuts came first in my sentence, but in my table they came second. So I'm going to be very careful and write 1 cup of raisins to 3 cups of nuts. We've been talking in class a lot about our unit rate. This is our unit rate. And our unit rate is the number we're going to times each other number by. So now I have 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. I could have chosen other numbers like 10. But I look at my graph and I know that I don't have a lot of space, so I need to stick pretty close to home. But I'm going to take that unit rate and I'm going to say 2 times 3 will give me 6. 3 times 3 will give me 9. 4 times 3 will give me 12. And 5 times 3 gives me 15. Okay, now let's talk about our X and our Y. Our X-axis is our axis we've been using to count numbers on since kindergarten. When I look over at the table tells me that this is going to be our raisins. So again, I'm looking at the raisins and I'm going, well, I need to go up by 1 each time, but it looks like I've got 10 spaces. So I'm going to skip count by 1s. So here's my 0. I'm going to skip and then go 1. Skip and go 2. Skip 3. Skip 4. Skip 5. All right. Now I'm going to do my Y column. My Y is the new one for you, and that is our up and down, and it tells me that our Y is going to be nuts. And I need to write down that it's in cups. I forgot to do that on the raisins. Let me do that right now. And I see that my units on my nuts goes up by 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip by 3 each time. 3, 6, 9, 12, and that 15 mark. All right, so now I'm going to plot this. I'm going to be very careful to plot the 1 and the 3 together, the 2 and the 6 together, the 3 and the 9, and so on. Once you get them all plotted, use your straight tool you were given in class to make your line. Please note you do need to put an arrow on the bottom. Now, let's talk about what does the point 3, 9 represent in this situation. Well, I go to the 3. I go to the 3 and I look at it and I see that the 3 is next to the 9. Okay, that's exactly what the ordered pair down here told us. Okay, that's exactly what the ordered pair told us. So now I'm going to have to go back up to the 3 and say that's 3 cups of raisins for 9 cups of nuts. And that's what you would write out. Question B says, what is the unit rate? Well, we already identified going into this that our unit rate is 1 cup raisin to 3 cups nuts. Let's continue on with this. So question C is, what does the point 1, 3 represent in this situation? Well, we just found out that that's our unit rate, but what does it mean? Well, we come back up to our chart and it says, well, 1 cup raisin to 3 cups nuts. That's what it means, and that is what you would write down. D gets a little bit harder. If I use 7 cups of raisins, how many cups of nuts should I use? If I'm keeping with this pattern, then one hint to do this is to put 7 in your chart. Well, we know that 7 times 3 is what we're going to do to get our other number. 7 times 3, that's 21. So now, it wants me to write that as an ordered pair. So just as a reminder, an ordered pair looks like this right here, with the parentheses, the number, a comma, the and a number, and then the closed parentheses, okay? So we're going to write that ourselves, but for our new one that we just came up with. So they told us that we were going to have 7, and then we found out that it's 21 cups of nuts. Good. Let's try the next one. So E, if I have a total of 60 cups of ingredients, how many cups of each did I use? Well, if we did this in class, and remember we did another one like this in another day, we just added our things until we got close to the desired amount. So I'm just doing that really quickly in green. So you can see those totals. We have a slight problem. It didn't go high enough. We also have another slight problem. My dog's deciding to bark too. So we're going to make another table really quickly. And we're going to choose some. And I'm going to write raisins and nuts. 5 wasn't enough, but maybe 10 will be enough. So 10 times 3 gives me 30. Then 10 plus 30 gives me 40. Well, that's not enough. All right, well, let's try 15. 15 times 3 gives me 45. Well, that's 60. So that is enough. Yay, we found it. All right, so now it's asking me to write it as an ordered pair again. So take the second and write it as an ordered pair. Your ordered pair should be parentheses, 15, comma, 45, close parentheses. It should look like this. All right, now Miguel mixed 4 cups of raisins with 7 cups of nuts. Did he follow this recipe? The easiest way to do is they told you right here that he had 4 cups of raisins. Well, in our chart up here, we have 4 cups. An easy quick check is, do the numbers match up? He had 4 cups of raisins, 2, 4 cups of raisins. So far it's matching. In our recipe, we had 12 cups of nuts to 7 cups of nuts. That doesn't match. So no, this is not the same recipe. You could say no, because the 4 cups of raisins that he added did not match up to the 12 cups of nuts you would need to have in the recipe. You could have decided to look at unit rate and have found that they weren't the same. Any way you do it, the answer is still no. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night.